Coming up on this episode of Nintendo Cartridge Society, are Glubbits the new Theets? And other questions only we would ask. What a horrible night to have a curse, so the Nintendo Cartridge Society has a curse with you. Welcome to Nintendo Cartridge Society. My name is Patrick Ellers, and I'm joined, as I'm always joined, by my co-host, Mark Mitchell. We've got a good show for you today. We're going to be talking about the news from the week, including a release date for Yoshi and the Mysterious Book. And then on Thursday, we're building our own Pokopias, dang it. But Mark, in the meantime, how's it going?
Oh, it's going great. Exciting to be starting a whole new game in our cold opens here.
Oh, yes, that's right. We are kicking it. We were in a little bit of a crisis.
A little bit.
What do we do?
Uh-huh.
We said to each other.
And
Yes.
at first, we felt strongly about keeping it Nintendo first party.
Right.
But then
we realized only one game has the insane mix of poor translation / probably obtuse dialogue to begin with that we wanted, and it's Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest.
Castlevania 2.
It's Castlevania 2.
I'm excited to be beginning this journey.
Yes, as am I. Mark, if people want to support us on other journeys that we may be on, they can head on over to patreon.com/Nintendo Cartridge Society, where if you're supporting us at the 8 or 16-bit levels, you get access to our once-a-month episodes of miniseries like NCS at the Movies.
Yes, in NCS at the Movies, Patrick, myself, usually a special guest, are going to theaters together to watch a movie and then talking about it. In February, we did an episode all about Scream. And in March...
Scream 7 specifically.
Scream
right.
7 specifically, you're right. And then in March, we're going to be talking about Project Hail Mary, which comes out this weekend. So super excited to talk about that. But over on the Patreon, we have a bunch of other mini-series that you can enjoy, including NCS Arcade, where Patrick and I played games we had mostly never beaten before. There's 3 great seasons of that. NCS Detective Club, NCS Goes Broadway, all of it available over on the Patreon, and some of it available at every tier,
including free. So check it out, see what go over there and be like, here's what I'd like to spend, and then see what it offers, and then say, well, here's what I'd like to listen to, and then see how much it costs.
Exactly.
Right? It's shopping. We all get it. And then, and don't, Mark, you and I were just kind of chatting summer movies before we started recording. I think we're going to have some fun movies to talk about.
Yeah,
coming up too.
I think so too.
Not that Project Hail Mary and Scream 7 weren't super fun movies to talk about, or I assume Project Hail Mary will be. Digging myself into a hole, and I don't really know why. If you would like to join our Discord, where we can all dig holes together, you can email us, Nintendo Cartridge Society @gmail.com. I'll send you an invitation. You can come on in, chat with us to your heart's content. It's a great place to hang out with people who are interested in Nintendo, who are pitching lines that we should be using for the beginning of the episodes. Will we get back around to using Punch-Out at some point? Possibly.
We just couldn't find a script.
There was not a good text dump.
Yeah, so if somebody can point us to... We found one that is only available on the web archive,
yes.
But they also included their own ROM hacks in there.
Right.
And so we just didn't feel confident that we are using the real thing. You know what I mean?
Even though the fake ones were pretty obvious, because he's like, go pwn that guy. And it's like, I'm pretty sure Doc Lewis wouldn't be saying that to Little Mac.
Right. It feels unlikely.
But I've not gotten very far in that game. Who knows? Who knows if Doc Lewis invented pwning? We don't know. All right, Mark, that's enough of that.
It's Miyamoto's favorite phrase, I'm assuming.
It would have to be if it appears so much in Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. That's it. I don't need to credit Mike Tyson with that. All right, Mark, let's get into what we've been playing this week.
I'll start.
Thank you.
Okay, because I'm still playing Resident Evil Requiem. I didn't have a ton of time to play during the week because if I did, I think I would be done with the game.
Yes.
But I did play over the weekend, and now I'm really close to the end. I feel. And I don't really want to say very much more than that because, we had our discussion with a friend of the show, Mikey McCullough, just a couple of weeks ago. But you and I were still pretty early into the game.
Yes.
Not like super early, but given everything that I have now experienced, pretty early. And Mikey had already finished it, but he couldn't talk about it because we hadn't gotten
He
that
was
far.
biting his tongue like a pro.
And so, but I don't want to talk about it too much because I don't know where you are in it. And I want to have another discussion about it
Right.
once we've both finished it. Because there's so much more to dig into than we had an opportunity
Sure.
to talk in that first episode.
So I just want to say that I have put my Resident Evil Requiem on pause for right now, largely because I'm like, I gotta finish Fire Emblem Awakening.
Right, sure,
Which like has
mission accomplished?
Not yet. It has turned into a genuine chore. The end of the game is so hard, and I'm playing on hard mode. And have I let too many characters die to this point? I don't know. Maybe too many of my characters have died for the end game here to be like a fun, satisfying victory thing. But I also don't know how I would have gotten past these chapters without like, just in the last couple where I'm like, one guy can die, that's okay. And it's
sure, yeah.
So I am on like literally the final like end game boss right now. We record on Thursday this week, so I'm gonna take another couple swings at it. But I am like this close to loading up my old save on normal mode that is right at the end and just beating it and seeing the ending that way.
I am sure that you'll feel very like fulfilled by doing it on hard mode just because you've come so far.
Yeah.
Like it'll feel nice to close the book on it. But it doesn't sound fun at this point.
I am not having fun at this point. Like, that's so hard for a game that I know that I love to have forced myself into a position where I am like actually dreading playing it. So yeah, I just don't have like the time or willpower to like muscle my way through it.
Sure,
so,
yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. I've got a couple days to decide how I'm going to approach it.
Like, do you feel like you're at a point where it's like strategy can get me through this, or are you at a point where it's like I gotta find some way to grind? Like I gotta find some way to level up.
The latter.
Ooh, that's gross.
Yeah.
That's gross.
It's definitely the latter. And like yeah, I think even by like kind of a lot. Like I've done, my strategy when there is because the final fight is a boss rush, right? Where it's just not in the traditional sense of the words, but in the goal is defeat the commander, right? You don't have to clear the map.
Sure, yeah.
You just need to get a strong enough unit all the way to the top of the map and kill the boss. And the boss is just too strong. Like normally in one of those cases, I can throw my Crom, my like lead unit on the back of a Pegasus, fly him up there and like, take out the boss in a turn or two, right? Or usually like a one attack, one counterattack, or one counterattack and then one attack. But the boss's defense is so high that like it's not enough. You need to get like 3 or 4 powerhouse units like right up in its face, and I just don't have that much. I don't have that many like super strong units that can move that fast.
Yeah.
So like it's just sort of throwing my it's just frustrating me at this point. So and we're going to talk about it like I said like this week, and that'll be like the end of it. And I'm looking forward to it being the end because I would like to get back to Resident Evil Requiem so we can have a follow-up conversation about it, and also because I am playing Pokemon Pokopia.
I want to hear all about your experience.
Let me just say that Pokemon Pokopia is a like ironclad reason to get a Switch to.
Cool.
And is like now with the like year of Switch 2 in our rearview mirror, I can look back and confidently say that the trinity that is Mario Kart World, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Pokemon Pokopia is like, yup, that's the library for the new system, and it makes sense. And if you're not in this ecosystem, you're missing out on like a fundamental gaming thing of right now.
That's pretty. I mean, I feel like that's really kind of incredible. One, because like this was not the case for you. You've been a Pokopia booster from the beginning.
I have, but even still, even in my wildest imagination, I wasn't like, this will be a reason to own the system.
Yeah, I feel like you've been interested in it from the beginning, but in like we're not crazy Pokemon heads, right?
Yes, totally.
And
yes.
so, but it looked fun, it looked cute, but then to also hear that it's great is
Yes.
like pretty cool.
Because, it obviously gets compared to a lot of other games, Animal Crossing being one of them. And like in some ways, it is that just by its like, real-time in-game clock, by its like casual sort of like hangout nature, and the fact that you can like very easily share clips or screenshots from it, and your world will be so different from someone else's world, and it's a creative way to express yourself, and it's just like you get into funny little situations where the characters are talking to each other, or where you've built something stupid, or whatever. So in that way, it feels very much like Animal Crossing. The way that it feels nothing like Animal Crossing is that this game never stops asking you to do things. Animal Crossing at some point is like, okay, you dig up your 3 fossils, you collect fruit if you're still interested in that. Maybe you're buying turnips, at that time, and like checking the price. You're doing like your sort of daily tasks, and then you're like, okay, I'm done. And I know I'm still fairly early in the game. I'm like in the middle of this second area right now. But like there is no point like that where you're just sort of left to your own devices. You always have the option to just develop to your heart's content, but there's always a Pokemon asking you for a favor, or to give them something, or to build something for them, or the world is so full of these like little systems that all feel like physical and real. So like one Pokemon wants a little candle, and you're like, great, I'll get the candle. You put the candle down, and you're like, oh, I should bring the Charizard over here, or the Charmander over here, so we can breathe fire on it and light the candle. Or like, oh, there's trash and mud around. Oh, I'm gonna get the Piplup over here to squirt water on it and like clean it up. Or it's like soap, and then you use water to clean it up. And there's just like the abilities of the Pokemon there's no combat in this game, right? So like all of the moves that Pokemon do that are like elemental style attacks in previous Pokemon games are now turned into tools that shape the environment. And that is like, for me, so much more rewarding, and so much more how I want to interact with Pokemon. I realize I don't like making Pokemon fight. I like them helping me make the world a better place, and I make their world a better place. It's just so charming, Mark.
Oh, that sounds so fun. I genuinely have FOMO.
Yeah.
Like I'm reading everybody in the Discord, everybody talking about their experience, and I'm enjoying Requiem, and I have a kind of like daunting backlog.
Sure,
but I want to
get Fantasy VII Remake.
Exactly,
right?
Yeah. But I want to get into Pokopia. Can you tell me what is like you boot up the game?
Yep.
What is your not like at the very beginning, but now it's like I'm gonna jump into Pokopia, and like what are you gonna do when you get in there? Does that make sense? Like what does the gameplay loop kind of look like?
Yeah. So it looks and feels a lot like the Dragon Quest Builders game, right? So it's a third person game, the camera that you are controlling kind of freely. And like right now I am in the second area, which is notably cloudy all the time. And so like therefore kind of like dark and overcast. So in this area, I left my Withered Wasteland, which was my the first place I was spawned into, where there were Pokemon that I was discovering and building stuff for, and rebuilding the Pokemon Center there. In the second area, it's ostensibly the same thing, that I will discover a bunch of Pokemon. They will have questions and requests for me, and we will work together to rebuild the Pokemon Center. And part of the way that the discovering of Pokemon works is this game has a feature, or like the like main function of getting new Pokemon is habitats. So you have a Pokédex, you also have a like habitat dex, where it's certain arrangements of like grass and water, or grass and a tree, or grass shaded by a boulder, or grass next to the ocean, tall grass, this sort of like base Pokemon thing. And so you are generating these spaces from which these new Pokemon can spawn. And then when they spawn, you make friends with them. They offer their abilities to you, either that you as the mimic use yourself. His name is
Ditto.
Ditto. Thank you. Either you do it yourself, or you're like, hey, follow me, and then they'll do their thing on whatever you encounter that they can do their thing on. So like when I go home tonight and I play Pokopia, I'm going to kind of run around this little area that I'm in right now to be like, okay, what things do I still have left to do with these Pokemon? And in so doing, I will discover other Pokemon that have appeared at the habitats that I've created already. I will get new clues about other Pokemon, which is to say I will get like information about other habitats that I should be making to spawn the new Pokemon, who will then have requests for me, who will then also help me fulfill other requests. It's all just like you're running, you're busting stuff up, you're building, you are exploring, you are talking to little guys and making them happy. It rules.
Yeah, that sounds so nice. Like, it just sounds nice. It sounds fun and pleasant and like enjoyable, a fun way to like spend time. I have a question about the real-time clock.
Yes.
So, one of the things that I find challenging about Animal Crossing is that, hey, like, I don't necessarily have time during the day when the shops are open, when all that stuff is like happening. And so, yeah, like when I play New Horizons and I log in at night and check out my island, the shops might be closed. There's fewer people out. There's less happening. You just miss it because, you miss things because you're not there during the day. Like Red has closed up shop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so how does that work in Pokopia?
I would say this is actually quite a bit different in Pokopia, in that the real-time clock is more about like, just like setting the sky for the right time of day, right? But also it's more about like the passage of time. So, if you are building something, it'll take like a certain number of hours. Sometimes it is like it'll be ready tomorrow. And it genuinely means like you have to wait for the next day. But like, Pokemon are like animals. So sometimes they're sleeping during the day. Sometimes they're like up at night. And there's no doors in the game that are closed to you ever. Because by and large, you put those doors there, right? So like I don't think there are, and as I get deeper into the game, maybe I will discover some any things that are on like really strict schedules like that. The game is really not about limiting your ability to do anything.
So
It's
it
all
feels
green
like
lights.
you could just like play at night and you would still have a fine experience.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, that's great. That's cool.
Yeah, it rocks. I love it so much. It's also like like you say, we're not huge Pokemon fans. So there are like a bunch of these Pokemon that I am meeting for the first time, and also that I'm having like my first like actual experience with. And this is just so much more rewarding to me because all the Pokemon have like different ways of talking to you. They all have like different little personalities, and there's only one of each Pokemon in this, right? Like, you're not going to meet multiple Pikachus. You're not going to meet multiple Trubbishes. Just met a Trubbish today. Do you know Trubbish?
No.
He's a little garbage Pokemon. He's like made of a trash bag, and he eats garbage. He's great.
I like that.
But so like that Trubbish has a personality, and he's the only Trubbish you're going to meet. And they don't evolve, and they don't die, and it's just like, it's great. And there are, I believe, 300 Pokemon in the game, which is, fewer than a modern Pokemon game. But like, you interact with all of them, and it's not like in Animal Crossing where it's like, these are the, whatever it is, 8 or 10 villagers that live on your island, and the rest of them may come to visit at some point. Like, basically all of these guys can be in play, and that is awesome.
Yeah, it just sounds like you were saying at the very beginning. It just sounds like how I want to
Mm-hmm.
experience Pokemon, like get to hang out with Pokemon, like all that stuff. It's like Pokemon Concierge, but
It is a lot
in
like that.
game
Yes.
form, right? Where you don't have to worry about battles, you don't have to worry about like leveling up your Pokemon and like all that kind of stuff.
I will say
it
it
sounds
is.
great.
It is also a little bit like Pokemon Concierge in that there are you are discover the part of the premise is that human beings, humans and Pokemon seemingly have vanished from the land, right? And you're able to make it so that new Pokemon are being discovered. But where the humans went is an active question.
Oh, okay.
And so you are picking up, little bits of journals and diaries and stuff from the humans that used to live on this land. And like some of it is like kind of melancholy and, it has like a borderline post-apocalyptic vibe to it.
Global warming's gonna get you.
Global warming's gonna get you, but it doesn't feel like doomy, gloomy. It's like it's all
Mm-hmm.
kind of like wistful in a very like Pokemon sort of way.
Oh, interesting.
And so like there's just like a sadness that's around all of it. Which I is that part of like the brand of Pokemon, like a sadness or
Yeah, like a melancholy
yeah.
current. I wouldn't say generally speaking, but that's interesting that it's a part of the game.
Yeah, I think
Of this game.
it's a very present part of the game, and like part of the reason why your character, the Ditto, looks the way they do is they are trying to remember their trainer and look like their trainer. And Professor Tangrowth, who we have seen in the materials here since the beginning, he talks about his trainer too, and like you get early on you read a note of a like professor who like is working with a Tangela who is like probably almost certainly the Professor Tangrowth evolved from. And so it's just like there's like a weird sense of like history and connection between humans and Pokemon, and to hear the Pokemon talk to each other about like what the humans used to do with this PC or with the Pokemon Center or with electricity is all like really cute and fascinating. They almost feel like Winnie the Pooh characters.
Uh-huh.
You know how Winnie the Pooh characters like they like live in the world, but they like don't understand it at all.
Yeah, totally.
But they like talk to each other because they have to in terms that like aren't at all accurate about the world that they're perceiving, and it's just cute. That's what this game does over and over and over again.
Wow. So is there like a story? Like does it feel like you have like a goal where it's like my character is building these biomes out for this narrative purpose?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
I mean, and the narrative purpose is like to bring Pokemon back to the world, right?
okay.
And to discover what happened to the humans. So like it is like sort of loose, and in a lot of ways it is driven by the Professor Tangrowth, who like wants you to do this with him, and he follows you to the next area, but the rest of your Pokemon stay behind. They're not even yours; they're your friends.
But can you like go back? Are you able to go back to
But it's my understanding that like through the course of like the main game and like through the story that you get more abilities and stuff. So like I spent a little bit of time the other night like making my original area look nice, laying down roads and fences and all that kind of stuff. That is like totally not what the game like wants you to do to get to the next area. I just wanted it to be nice. But I think that I will really come back and make it actually look like awesome once I've gotten all the abilities.
Oh,
and all
sure,
that kind of
yeah.
stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, no, I'm having an absolute blast. I think this is about as good as it could be.
Wow. I mean, you've totally sold me on it.
I cannot believe that what Dragon Quest builders needed was to take Dragon Quest out and put Pokemon in, right? Like that's an IP swap that I'm like, no, I think I want it the other way. And then just remove combat entirely.
That's so interesting to me that it's just like, no, we're taking the combat out.
Yeah, we don't need it. And like Pokemon battling is such like a core part of the series. Doesn't need it.
Yeah, that's really cool.
All right, Mark, that's what we've been playing this week. Let's get into the new releases and what we might be playing next week.
First, we'll check in, as always, on Nintendo Music, and this week's soundtrack is Super Metroid.
A good one.
A good one. And then today, March 17th, Street Fighter 6 is getting the Alex DLC. And then also on Switch, not for Switch 2, but just released on Switch, is MLB The Show 26.
Very good. I like Alex a lot as a Street Fighter character. He was a main of mine in, I want to say 4. I think that's right. And I'm debating going back in to pick him up and mess around a little bit there.
The only other thing I wanted to call out is that Square Enix is having a sale right now on the eShop, and Final Fantasy VII Remake is $24 right now.
Which is a great deal on a great game. I also saw that Final Fantasy Tactics, the Evil East Chronicles, is also on sale for like 30% off or something like that.
Oh, I don't own that one. I haven't
Neither
picked
do
it up
I.
yet. That's interesting.
I believe I had it wishlisted, which is why it popped for me on the thing. But yeah, so Square Enix having a sale on a lot of their games right now. All right, Mark, not a ton of games out this week. Obviously, we've got Super Mario Brothers Wonder, Nintendo Switch 2 Edition, plus Meetup at Bella Bell Park next week. But we'll talk about that next week. All right, let's close the segment out. Which brings us to a regular segment on our show. It's time for 433. In 1952, American composer John Cage wrote a piece called 433, wherein a performer or group of performers didn't play their instruments for 4 minutes and 33 seconds. For the purposes of this show, our instruments are talking about Nintendo. So, for the duration of one performance of 433, Mark and I'll talk about something not at all Nintendo related, thus fulfilling the contract of the piece. Mark?
Yes, this week we're going to be playing a little game to see if we can guess the fake movie title.
Okay, so what does that mean?
Okay, so there are a few questions, and each of them have like 3 or 4 movie titles.
Okay.
And we are going to choose from that cluster which one of those we think is fake. Does that make sense?
I think I will understand once we do the first one.
I think you will as well. So, which of these 3 is fake? And I don't know the answers either, so
okay.
I'm guessing along with you. Sorority Babes in the Slimeball Bowl-O-Rama.
Okay, great.
Tammy and the T-Rex, or Peanut Butter or Murder. That's one title, Peanut Butter or Murder.
Okay, that's great.
So of those 3, which do we think is fake?
Okay. And these are grouped just by...
whim, a fancy.
So Tammy and the T-Rex sounds real.
Tammy and the T-Rex I would believe is real, yes. Yeah. Sorority Babes in the Slimeball Bowl-O-Rama is almost too specific to me. But so is Peanut Butter or Murder.
I feel like Peanut Butter or Murder is the fake movie title. The Slimerama, what's it called?
It's called Sorority Babes in the Slimeball Bowl-O-Rama.
That does sound like a 50s exploitation.
Yeah, or around it's like a Porky's ripoff or something.
Yeah.
But it also might be
it's so winking.
It's so
right?
winking.
Do you want to go with that? Let's go with that one.
No, I think we go with Peanut Butter or Murder, but I'm willing to be wrong.
Okay.
We were correct. It was Peanut Butter
there
or
we
Murder.
go.
Yeah. Yes. Sorority Babes in the Slimeball Bowl-O-Rama was released in 1988. And Tammy and the T-Rex was released in 1994. All of that checks out to me.
Whew.
Next cluster. Basketball Cats.
So wait, Tammy and the T-Rex was riding high on Jurassic Park?
I think so, yes.
Great.
Yeah. Basketball Cats.
Uh-huh.
Goodwill Hunting. Cannibal Women in the Avocado Jungle of Death. I'm going to go with... I lean Basketball Cats.
Okay. I mean, Goodwill Hunting is real.
Right. That one I feel fine about.
What's the trick there?
Yeah, I'm even looking at the spelling. It all seems fine.
Okay. Let's go with Basketball Cats.
But do you think because Sorority Babes was real that they're setting us up with
the
Cannibal
Women? That's a good point. So it's the Cannibal Women, what? Avocado
They're in
something?
the Avocado Jungle of Death.
The Avocado Jungle of Death.
But then are we trying to outsmart the quiz and not playing the game?
Let's play the game and let's go with Basketball Cats.
Okay. We were correct.
Great.
Okay. Cannibal Women was released in 1989. Goodwill Hunting, believe it or not, released in 1997. A real movie.
What is happening with this quiz?
Oh, wait, here we go.
Yeah.
More. Which of these movies' titles is fake? Paul Blart Mall Cop.
Okay, real.
Ghost Babies. The Positively True Adventures of the Alleged Texas Cheerleader Murdering Mom. Let me say that again.
Yeah.
The Positively True Adventures of the Alleged Texas Cheerleader Murdering Mom. Meaning that the mom
murders cheerleaders.
Texas cheerleaders.
And it is, what's the qualifier for true?
Positively True
Adventures.
Yeah. Of the alleged.
Right.
Paul Blart we know is real. Ghost Babies.
How would you market that?
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, no one wants to think about babies dying.
Right.
And then being spirits.
Right.
In
it's
the
like,
afterlife.
how did these babies die?
How did these babies die?
Uh-huh. So I feel like we go with that one, but it just feels like we're cheating fate with these like impossibly long titles, but maybe it's not a very good quiz.
Maybe it's not. Let's go with Ghost Babies.
We were correct. Yeah.
Yeah, great.
The alleged Texas teenage murdering mom was 1993. Paul Blart Mall Cop, we all know, 2009.
Right, of course. Tattooed on my upper arm.
Here's another one.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Wonderful Life.
Okay.
The Bye Bye Man and Vampire Friends.
Ooh.
Yeah, this one.
The Bye Bye Man or Vampire Friends?
Yeah.
Vampire Friends, you could pitch and sell tomorrow.
Oh, totally.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a limited series, of course. So yeah, I think the Bye Bye Man.
I think the Bye Bye Man 2 as well. Okay, here we go.
Yep.
Oh, it was in fact
it was Vampire Friends.
Because the Bye Bye Man was released in 2017.
Okay.
And It's a Wonderful Life, of course, was released in 1946.
That's
Should
the
we do
timer.
one more?
I want to do one more.
Okay.
Also, we got to get to work on Vampire Friends.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Are you kidding? That's on the table. All right.
That's IP, Mark.
And of course, they don't actually become vampires or friends until the end of the first season.
Of course.
Astronaut Problems. I Bought a Vampire Motorcycle.
Okay.
A Shoe Addict's Christmas.
A shoe addict.
So someone addicted to shoes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
A shoe addict's Christmas. I Bought a Vampire Motorcycle. And what was the first one?
Astronaut Problems.
Astronaut Problems. What's up with this quiz?
This one's pretty good. All three feel plausible.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Astronaut Problems. I think that's where my gut is leading me. I think that one's fake.
Yeah. Yes. Also, just a bad title, right?
Yeah.
Because like, problems. Is there a movie with the word problems in it? A movie title with problems?
There's one with like problem singular,
like Problem Child.
Yeah,
but that's like a. I think Astronaut Problem is Problems is so like non-specific that it not only is an unrealistic title, it's a bad title.
Right. Like because you're like, well, are they? Because it's not like.
Are they problems
it's
at
not
home?
possessive.
Is it problems in
Exactly.
space?
Exactly.
Is it, right.
Is it like a project manager whose problems is astronauts?
Yes.
Let's find out. Are we correct? We are. We're right.
Okay.
Astronaut Problems was fake.
Yeah, I guess I hadn't considered that it was an engineer like going to the bar and being like, I got a real astronaut problem.
There's two more. Do we want to do them? Or
yeah,
are
let's
we just...
do them.
Okay,
Come on.
okay.
433 doesn't mean anything.
The Dog Wedding.
Uh-huh.
The World's Best Dog Adventure.
Uh-huh.
Deathbed. The Bed That Eats.
So Deathbed, the Bed That Eats is real.
Okay.
Patton Oswalt has a bit about it.
Oh, so that puts us between The Dog Wedding and The World's Best Dog Adventure. I think it's possible that The World's Best Dog Adventure is like too generic.
Yeah. But Dog Wedding is also pretty generic.
Well, it's The Dog Wedding.
The Dog Wedding.
Yeah.
My fault. Do you think if I went to the movie theater and said 2 tickets for Dog Wedding, they'd say The Dog Wedding to me?
Well, if I was manning the ticket booth, they would. This is why people prefer to buy tickets online.
That's true. And the convenience. Okay, let's go with the best dog adventure.
I mean, am I swaying? Like, am I
you are,
am I
you are
in a
swaying
bad
me.
way? Like, would you say the world's best dog? Would you say the dog's wedding is fake?
The thing about the World's Best Dog Adventure is that it is not that far off from Far From Home, right? Like, just conceptually speaking, or like The Adventures of Milo and Otis. Like,
Oh, sure, or
this,
the Incredible Journey.
yeah, there we go. There are all of these like constructions that are like the sort of generic.
Oh, so this could be a ripoff of.
That's what I think.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go with the dog wedding as being the
You're
fake
sure?
one. Yeah,
Now I feel like I've swayed you.
but that's fine.
Okay.
So let's
Sure.
do it.
Let's go with Dog Wedding.
Okay.
The Dog Wedding.
I'm sorry to say that the dog wedding was real. It was released in 2015.
That's upsetting.
The world's best dog adventure is fake. Okay, last one. We know which one this is. The options are Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, real. Operation Dumbo Drop, super real.
Also
so
very
that means
real.
Revenge of the Bees must be fake. Unless this is a trick question, they're all real.
Well, but is there an option for a trick question?
No,
No, it's Revenge of the Bees.
it is in fact. Okay. We got 89% of them correct. So I feel pretty good about that.
Can you believe they got away with calling a movie Operation Dumbo Drop?
I mean, I think that's basically what it is. They drop an elephant out of an airplane.
Right, but I'm just saying, like, that's an obvious poop joke. Like, on the same level as Solid Snake and Liquid Snake. There was something in the water. All right, Mark, let's get out of 433. We were accompanied by an alarm on my phone. But let's get into the news.
Last week, Nintendo revealed the release date for Yoshi and the Mysterious Book,
Let's
along with
talk
a new
about
trailer.
it. Yes.
So the release date is May 21st, which we didn't have anything scheduled for May, so this placement makes sense.
We had previously known spring.
Yeah, that's right.
That fits the brief.
Uh-huh. So the new trailer introduces one of the creatures you'll encounter. These are Glubbits. They're like little keys, basically. I don't really know how to. They're like,
yeah, they're little key shit. Like they're like the bubble blowing wand.
yeah, they're like stick. Yes, that's exactly what they are. That's
Yes.
probably literally what they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they're like a stick with a big circle on the
Still
top.
trying to describe it. And it blows bubbles.
And it blows bubbles.
Right.
And then you can use the bubbles. You can like hop into them and reach hard to reach places.
Right. You can also feed the Glubbit different fruits, and that changes the quality of the bubbles.
Okay. All I can think about with Glubbit is that it's like Love It
Sure.
and so my mind goes to like Sweeney Todd.
Okay.
And like Mrs. Lovett.
Sure.
It's just I can't help it. Like that's what I think about when they talk about Glubbits.
Are you worried that Yoshi's going to become some sort of demon barber?
Or Yoshi Pie.
I mean, either way.
Yeah, and so but this is just seemingly one of the many different creature types that we are going to encounter.
Yes. Well, and like not only that, but like the different ways that you interact with the Glubbit appear to be if not like achievements, they're like things that you collect and that are then recorded in the book. And so to my eyes, as I'm watching this trailer, you know how there are always like course clear conditions for various like levels in a Yoshi game or Kirby game or whatever, or like Princess Peach Showtime did this as well. I feel like that's what this game is doing, where it's like, to get through this level and actually clear it 100%, you have to interact with the creatures in that level in every way possible, right? And like log all of these interactions. And that is very interesting to me, because then it makes all of those like sort of course clear conditions character based, right? Or creature based, as it were. And just taking those things that can be kind of generic, don't get hit in this section, you know, don't collect all the coins, whatever, and turning it into like interact with this creature in this many different ways is more compelling to me.
Yeah, that's interesting. I hadn't thought about it that way, but that's a really good point.
I think it's still all going to come down to like, how are these levels designed?
For sure.
And how interesting are these creature interactions? But like, I don't know, this could... and interestingly, from this little trailer, I feel like we don't have a super clear
I don't
idea
think so
of that.
either. Yeah, it's interesting to me how little we still know about this game.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, I will point out, though, one of my first big sticking points when this game was revealed is that we see Yoshi jump around and do flutter kicks, but we do not see him lay or throw eggs. We do see him lay and throw eggs in this trailer. So
That's right.
I just wanted to retract my earlier hysteria about this game not being a real Yoshi game.
The other thing that I thought was interesting in the trailer is that, like, you encounter a Glubbit and it gets added to the book, but then they show this sequence where you can either choose to name the creature your own name.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like with Pokemon, right? It
Right.
has like a default name, and so you can do that here. You can ask Mr. E, the book, to like provide the name, or you can just make your own up, which that's interesting to me.
Yeah, well, and it's not as though, like Pokemon, you are giving them a nickname. It's like you are naming the species.
Yeah.
Which is, I don't know. I can't tell who this game is for.
I can't either. I don't really get this game.
Is it because it feels like too much reading for children?
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot about this game that I don't understand. Well, just like, so pre-orders aren't up on the eShop yet.
Right.
And
we're 2 months out.
And we don't have a price in North America.
Weird.
There's no pricing information.
Do you think it's because they're still dialing it in?
Well, possibly, but that feels strange to me that they would be this
agree.
far out, because I'm assuming retailers are probably placing orders, and that what they're charging retailers has to be based on what they're planning, like what the retail price of the game is going to be. I mean, we do have data for like the UK and Europe and Japan as well. So in the UK, the digital version is going to be £50, and in Europe it's €60. And then the physical version is basically like £10 or euro more. It's £9 more, and then €10 more. So that's also interesting to me. For comparison, Donkey Kong Bonanza is like £59 and €70. Mario Kart World is £67 and €80.
Right. So it's like pretty closely mapped onto the euro price as the dollar price, right? That Donkey Kong Bonanza was $70 is €70. Mario Kart World 80 and 80.
Yeah.
So if that is the model that we're going by, seemingly Yoshi and the Mysterious Book could be a $60 Switch 2 game.
Yeah.
Which I am sort of hopeful for, that they're like exploring that
totally.
that range down a little bit. Not every game needs to be a $70 game. I don't know.
But just kind of, just curious to me that we don't have that information for North America yet. The other thing that is weird to me about this is the game, according to the eShop listing, is 20.5 gigabytes. Compare that to, that's like more than double Donkey Kong Bonanza, which is 9 gigabytes, and Pokopia is 6.2 gigabytes. So what's
happening here? And is it just that there's like a lot of spoken, like, is there a lot of like pre-recorded audio? Because like that is a way that these games can balloon, is that, or like audio or video files like that can add to the size of a game.
Yeah, but who would be doing all that talking?
Well, Donald Glover is Yoshi, of course. You and I have not had an opportunity to talk about this one.
Oh, you're right. We did. I don't know. My initial thought was like, oh, maybe this is a good feel game or something, and it's just not optimized.
Yeah, but I think those games are usually pretty.
Yeah, I went back and looked at what like Princess Peach Showtime was, for example, and it didn't stand. I think it was like 6 gigabytes.
Yeah.
So it didn't stand out as like anything crazy, even for a Switch 1 game. So maybe it's wrong. Maybe I don't know. It just feels so weird for it to be so much bigger than Donkey Kong Bonanza. What could this game hold that requires it?
I mean, maybe there's a fully playable Donkey Kong Bonanza and a fully playable Pokemon Pokopia inside this game.
And then Mr. E just opens up, right? And it's like I don't know. I can't remember the last Yoshi game that really interested me, and this one so far hasn't really moved the needle. But I am glad that we've kind of like moved away from the crafted world and like Wally World aesthetic and are doing something different.
Yeah. Well, and it was also interesting to see. I mean, just speaking of like the aesthetic differences, previously I think we had just seen the like in the book version of the graphics. In this trailer, we see like real world Yoshis like looking at the book,
Yeah, at the
right?
very beginning, right?
So there is like you're in the book, you're out of the book.
But even that I feel like is a little more. I have it pulled up. Like
Oh yeah,
even that I feel like is a little more like painterly and stuff. It doesn't look like 3D World, not 3D World. It doesn't look like new Super Mario Brothers. You know
sure,
what I mean?
right. But yeah, I just like there's it feels like there are some interesting swings happening here, and I hope that there is a satisfying platformer behind the swings.
Uh-huh.
And if that's the case, and the your interactions with the creatures are more of a means to an end and not just like the entire game, then I don't know. I think there could really be something interesting here. But the pricing is weird. The size of the game is odd. Um, uh, yeah, I kind of don't know what to make of this. I'm excited to learn more and to check it out when it does come out. But I don't think we're gonna get like much of a deeper look before the game. I mean, maybe
Yeah.
one more presentation, but
No, I would be surprised
trailer.
as well. I do like the look of they show off like what I think is a seaside kingdom towards the end, and there's like these little almost like bird or frog like creatures that Yoshi's jumping on with
Yeah, and
with
there's
a note
there's a
staff
music
and
staff above it.
uh-huh. And like I don't know, it has the potential to be cool.
It
But
does.
I just with all Yoshi games, I'm kind of hesitant
Right.
until proven
You're
otherwise.
guarding your heart.
I'm guarding my heart.
Right.
Yes. Pokemon Pokopia, which we talked about earlier.
Oh, sorry. Just
yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Just at May 21st, this is likely to be the last first party game that comes out before the 1 year anniversary of the Switch 2.
Oh, you're right.
Because that was early June, right? So that will mark the when after that comes out, we will then have a full picture of the Switch 2's first year.
Wow. Do you think by that point? So okay, once this game is released, what else is out there for Switch 2 specifically?
Splatoon Raiders,
Right, which is
undated.
So, yeah.
Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave.
Oh yeah, of course, which we know is coming this year.
Which we know is coming this year. And as far as first party is concerned, I think that might be it.
Okay.
One moment while I
the Dusk
consult.
Bloods, I guess we know is coming this year.
Right, and Pokemon Winds and Waves the next year.
Yeah.
And Pokemon Champions, which should be out before then. But yeah, that's sort of it. I do, I was thinking about the fact that we did not have a Nintendo Direct like full of first party games at the beginning of this year in February. I think in some ways they are clearing the decks, or the decks were already cleared for the Super Mario Galaxy movie, right? We did get a February Direct the year that the Super Mario Brothers movie came out. But I just went back and listened to our episode about it today, and while there was a bunch of Nintendo stuff, there was nothing in there that was genuinely a new game from Nintendo, except for the Metroid Prime remaster, which itself is a remaster of a GameCube game. Everything else that was first party was like teasing the Splatoon 3 DLC or Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass stuff. There was no new Nintendo game thing with the exception of one remaster. So I think they were probably just in like that same sort of position, kind of like holding stuff or like waiting to talk about their big new things until Super Mario Galaxy has had like its moment in the sunshine.
Yeah.
So I think that's just where we are right now.
Yeah, that's interesting. And of course with like the release date trailer for Yoshi and the Mysterious Book, just popping up on Nintendo today and that sort of thing. They had a Mario Day presentation last week, or like a bunch of announcements out of it.
Right.
So yeah, it's not like we're not getting news, but it definitely feels like June is the next date where we need to start hearing about what's coming next.
Right. Because, I mean, to your point, it is truly just Fortune's Weave and Raiders that we're waiting on at this point. So, yeah.
Pokemon Pokopia sold more than 2.2 million copies in its first 4 days, according to the Pokemon Company and Nintendo. That includes 1 million copies sold in Japan alone, which is pretty crazy.
Yes.
Also, this is with the game being undersupplied at retail.
Right, which is just like a thing that is happening now for like games that are in high demand.
Oh yeah, that's right. Requiem was also impossible.
Requiem was
to find.
also like that. Yeah.
Also, I guess as long as we're talking about impressive sales numbers for games, Resident Evil Requiem has sold 6 million copies.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah.
You have a note here about a surge in Nintendo share price.
Yes,
we don't like to rah boost a corporation, even one that we love. But yeah, it seems like this has been good for Nintendo's bottom line, even in terms of like their
I mean the
share price.
Industry analyst group Wedbush called Pokopia like a system seller,
right,
for the Switch 2.
Interesting. I also did that.
That is interesting.
That is interesting.
Speaking of Switch 2, it received a system update to version 22.0.0, including some remarkable features, more than the usual stability updates.
Right. So remarkable, in fact, that here we are remarking upon them.
That's right, and I will do so now. Starting with the Handheld Mode Boost.
Yes.
Handheld Mode Boost, which allows Switch 1 games to be in docked mode while playing in handheld.
So, yes, there is a resolution cap on games in handheld mode that the Switch 2, when you're playing a Switch 1 game, will ignore for the resolution cap of the docked mode.
Yes, so if you turn on handheld
Did I
mode
clarify
boost,
anything at all, or did I make it more confusing?
If you let's see, I'm gonna try to find let's see, what's Nintendo's official... Here we go. When enabled, Handheld Mode Boost causes the performance of Nintendo Switch software while undocked to run as if it were being played in TV mode.
Yes, much clearer than what I was saying.
So but they also warned that, this means that the Switch won't function, or your Switch 2 won't function, like the touchscreen won't work, and
that makes sense.
There could be other things that just don't look right in handheld mode, because
it's expected to be on a TV.
Exactly.
Right.
But that's a pretty surprising and cool feature.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it's interesting that they continue to find ways, how some Switch games just had performance enhancements by virtue of being played on a Switch 2. They continue to find ways to make backwards compatible software more appealing to play on a Switch 2.
Totally.
Let's see, what else did this update do? You can add notes on people in your friend list.
Love that.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That they can't see.
That's right. You could be like, how do I know this person?
Uh-huh.
Do I like this person?
Exactly. Yes. So I think that's a fun idea, because sometimes you are playing with somebody in Mario Tennis Fever, and they send you a friend request, and maybe you don't remember where this person came from.
Yeah, totally.
So it's just a way to note that.
And you can change your username and your icon.
Oh yeah, totally.
So if you're oh yeah, this person is Mark Mitchell, I can write that.
Yeah, mine was
was
just Ace for the longest time, and I
That's
realized we were inviting people to add us as friends, and then they had no way to remember, if your friend list is long, that Ace of all things, it was me.
Right.
So I changed mine to Mark NCS, so it was at least a little more clear. But now people could write notes. And then
from podcast.
Yes, exactly. Another thing that they added is that when you go into airplane mode on your Switch 2, the system will continue to honor your it'll remember your Bluetooth settings, your NFC reader settings, those sorts of things. Plus, when you're in airplane mode, from quick settings, you'll be able to manage Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, or NFC, which is interesting because previously, when you went into airplane mode, it was you can't use Bluetooth. So Bluetooth controllers wouldn't work, nothing like that. You couldn't use Bluetooth headphones. So this is great that they're changing that, because it was if you wanted to play on a plane but set it down and use a controller wirelessly, you couldn't do that before.
Right. I mean, what is your stance on airplane mode on when you were on a flight? I do it with my phone because I'm like, I don't, if there's like some interference
Sure,
with
yeah.
like receiving like a phone call or whatever, or trying to like access the network. But like, if it is, my Switch doesn't have the ability to do that. Like it can connect to Wi-Fi, but I'm like, it's not. It feels like an inessential
I do
mode,
it.
but
The only reason I do it for like power consumption
oh,
reasons.
sure,
So
right,
it's not like searching for Wi-Fi. I don't know how much of a difference it makes,
right,
but so I do engage it on airplanes usually, but again, it's just for like power management.
right.
Finally, in text. Oh, sorry. Was there something else you want to say about that? About the flight?
No,
Okay.
no, I was just thinking about like I'm asking this question, and then I'm like, well, what do I really know about airplanes? And
That's not our job to know about
no,
airplanes.
it's not.
Now,
But we are talking about airplane mode.
now, if there are airplane creatures
Right.
in Yoshi and the Mysterious Book,
right, you got to
Then
figure
what?
out what happens when you feed it a strawberry.
now airplanes are like a long cylinder with two like sticks coming out the side of it.
Yeah,
just in
wings.
case.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Keep describing it.
Text to speech under accessibility can now read the text in like photo albums and during first time setup.
Nice.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Also a bunch of other features, and the Switch, the original Switch, also got an update where you can also add notes to friends and stuff like that. Elden Ring Tarnished Edition for the Switch 2 was originally revealed with a 2025 release date, but that didn't happen. Previously, the last time anyone got a good look at it was at Gamescom 2025 back in August, where it was reportedly looking super rough.
I went back and like read a couple of those like impressions from last year, and like it's like a big like ugh. Like
Yeah.
danger, 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 flashing red lights.
But a new build was shown off at GDC in San Francisco last week, and the new impressions are pretty positive. Bandai Namco even let sites take footage of handheld mode, like over the shoulder. So, still no release date or window yet, but it seems like it's not one that is just disappearing
Right.
after the delay, kind of like we saw with like Borderlands 4 and stuff. And the Duskbloods, another From Software game, is also supposed to release this year. So maybe a big year for From Software on Switch 2.
Yeah, I mean, this again is something I would expect to hear more about in June, both for Elden Ring and the Duskbloods. And then we'll know. I wouldn't be surprised if one of them, probably Duskbloods, gets booted to next year.
Mm-hmm.
But that game can come out at any time and have sort of the same impact. I think.
Also, I wonder if like when Elden Ring Tarnished Ring is released,
Elden Ring Tarnished Edition.
yes,
Yes.
Elden Ring Tarnished Ring
Nope.
Tarnished Edition Ring Elden
There we
is
go.
finally
Return of the King.
Return of the King. The Hunt for Gollum is finally released, directed by Andy Serkis.
Mm-hmm.
Is finally released. That it'll just kind of
Just like Venom, Maximum Carnage. Maximum Carnage, time for Carnage. Make noise for Carnage.
I hope it's Make Noise for Carnage. That's such a good title. That's such a good title.
Let There Be Carnage is the name of the movie.
That's what they should have done on that quiz. Is like
yes,
almost titles.
Yes, Let There Be Carnage. Make some noise for Carnage. Unfortunately, it is Carnage.
But when Elden Ring Tarnished Edition finally releases, I wonder if it's not like going to be a huge deal. Do you know what I
Right.
mean? Like
Yeah.
it'll just be like, we've known it's coming for a while. Here's a release date. It rolls out.
And it's obviously not the best way to play the game that has been
Totally.
available and already like made its mark on other platforms kind of multiple times.
Yeah.
Because it had the Night Rain. Was that
I think that's like a
DLC?
separate game.
It's
I don't
ma-
think it's.
But yeah, okay, sure. But there was DLC for it, right?
Yeah, I'm sure. Yes, and that's supposed to be included in Tarnished
Yeah.
Edition. But also, I think and I know that Elden Ring is Bandai Namco, and the Duskbloods will be published by Nintendo, I think. But of the two, I think they're going to make more noise about the Duskbloods.
I think so too.
Than
Yeah.
Elden Ring.
Right, and then
Yeah.
that'll be a new game too, so like it's like necessarily a noisier thing. Were you plugged into a lot of the GDC stuff this year, Mark?
Not really. I saw, I was reading about the Donkey Kong Bonanza presentation that Nintendo
Yeah,
gave.
that seemed fun.
Uh-huh. Yeah, every year Nintendo has a presentation at GDC where they kind of break down the tech behind or the creation of one of their big games. Breath of the Wild was famously there. That's when we saw that they had made kind of like a prototype in the vein of the original Legend of Zelda. And then I think Tears of the Kingdom was there. But anyways, this year was Donkey Kong Bonanza, just breaking down how that game was created and how it works.
Yeah, and like that's all really cool, interesting stuff that you can check out if that is of interest to you. I also read some like impressions of like Mina the Hollower that are like very positive.
Oh, cool.
And even from people who had like previewed it previously and been like, when I played this before, it was like an interesting mess, but like now it is like honed within an inch of its life and is actually really cool. I read a lot of positive impressions of Super Meat Boy 3D, which is interesting to me. That game's coming out in just a couple weeks, and I'm interested in playing that. Although it did ping a question for me where it was like, what's with that trend of the indie like 8-bit/16-bit, like pixel graphic side-scrolling games being like, and now we do a 3D version.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, I understand that was our experience with Mario and with Sonic the Hedgehog, but like, you didn't make a game in 1987. You made a game in 2015 or whatever. Why are you spending so much time trying to develop Shovel Knight 3D? Just an odd little thing.
Oh, this is also kind of a sidebar, but 3 weeks ago, I guess at this point, 2 weeks ago, the last news episode I was on, we talked about, or we mentioned that there was a interview with Masahiro Sakurai, and the two composers
about the music, yes,
of Kirby Air Riders. And so I read it, and it's very interesting, a peek into like their process and how that all worked. But as part of that interview, we learned that Sakurai is the one who wrote the lyrics for the like theme song, and that when it was translated into English, like I feel like the English translation of those songs are usually clunky. Mm-hmm. And then in that interview, we found out, and he knew it, and he was on purpose. Like, the translators would be like, oh, well, like, what about this? Like, finesse it? And he'd be like, no. Like, I want it, like, the stuff I wrote is what I wrote. You know what I mean?
And I think he's also, like, he's going for that style, which, like, a clunky translation is part of it, right? Or, like, I always feel like there's this thing with, like, rhythmically cramming all of these syllables into a line that can't possibly support it is just like part of a Japanese song translated into English. So yeah, fine. It's fine.
But the interviews it's like a 2-part interview, and it's really a discussion between the three of them, and very interesting to read, just like about the process and
great.
How it was all part of the game. Accessory maker Hori revealed a pair of steering wheel peripherals officially licensed by Nintendo, specifically designed to play Mario Kart. There were Switch versions of this. This is for Switch 2, although the original ones are compatible with this.
Sure.
So it's just kind of like updated ones, I guess,
right.
More around Mario Kart World. Released on March 23rd, so just a few days from here. There's a mini model that is $80, and then a deluxe model that's $130. And as far as I can tell, it's just like build quality.
Yes.
And originally, I thought that maybe these were going to be. Go ahead.
And the smaller one, which is maybe for kids, is red and blue, and the deluxe model, which is for adults, is red and black.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. But they both have like the Mario like M on them, on like where the horn would be on a car.
It is very funny to see like the Mario Kart sort of like stylings on this wheel, and then the foot pedals are just like metal.
Yeah. I thought this was going to be like a plastic peripheral that you put a Joy-Con in,
no,
for
not at all.
Controls.
Yeah.
But yeah, and
it's just a wheel.
It's just like a racing rig basically, pedals and steering wheel. It can be used for other racing games as well.
I assume the answer is no, but you've never owned a racing wheel for a video game, and of course I do not mean the Mario Kart Wii wheel.
No, I haven't. Because I don't really play any. I've never played any like sim racers.
Yeah,
and
same.
I like obviously it could be fun with an arcade racer like Mario Kart to do that, but I think of those as more like if you want to get into like Gran Turismo or even like the F1 racing games or that sort of like rally racing.
It does imply a level of taking it seriously that doesn't really jive with what I think of Mario Kart. But there's something about just like the gear that I'm like, that's kind of cool. I won't buy one, Mark.
Not even a mini?
If I were to buy one, I would buy the deluxe.
We mentioned last week that Pragmata's release date moved forward from April 24th to April 17th, but that's not the only spring release coming out earlier than announced. Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight will now be released on May 22nd, which is 1 week earlier than its previously announced release date of May 29th.
What's happening?
Yeah, I don't know.
Why are games ready a week earlier?
Do you know what's also interesting about Pragmata is that I think on all platforms, or maybe just a couple of platforms, in Japan, it is still coming out on the 24th.
Okay. Why would they change these things?
I don't know.
Like, is it to get out of the way of something else, or
I don't know.
They're just like they were checking the schedule and they're like, you know what? Logistically speaking, these things are all going to be in place, and like we've already scheduled shipping them, and they're just ready to go 1 week earlier. So why not?
Yeah, I really, I don't understand. I don't know why you would do it, because I'm not sure what else is coming out in April that would, or even early May, that they would like want to get ahead of.
Yeah. I mean, like the only game I think on the horizon that like people would be planning around would be GTA 6, right?
Right.
Which we all know is firmly planted in like
fall or November.
November, yeah, kind of later November even than expected. But yeah, just a strange little thing that we're seeing two different games come out a week earlier.
Okay, so for Pragmata, it's just the Nintendo Switch 2 version in Japan and Asia remains unchanged. So Nintendo Switch 2, Japan, Asia, still April 24th. Everywhere else, including the Switch 2 versions in like North America and everywhere else, is April 17th.
Okay. And when we'll never know why. And
the Amiibo in Australia and North America is also coming on the 17th now. The Diana one.
Yeah, interesting.
Unknowable
indeed.
Let's see. Finally, as part of the Mario Day festivities last week, Nintendo announced a new Tetris 99 Maximus Cup themed around Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. And of course, it's not really themed around the movie, I guess timed to the movie, because it kicks off on April 3rd at 12 a.m. Pacific time and then runs through April 6th.
Of course, we love a Tetris Maximus Cup. The same rules as always apply. You reach 100 points with the game, and then you can use that Mario Galaxy theme forever.
When I was catching up on this, I was worried that it had already passed, so I was relieved that it's not until April.
No, and I didn't catch this specific news item, so like if it had happened last week, I would have missed it.
Devastating. I added a reminder in my phone.
That's good. Yes. And we'll talk about it maybe 100 times between now and
I don't know. Sometimes we forget.
Sometimes
it's not
in
new releases or anything, so.
It's true. Well, but there is always the because these things they stop at midnight on the Monday after the weekend. So we always have like one last shot after we record.
It's true. Yeah.
All right, Mark, let's get out of the news. All right, that is going to do it for this episode of Nintendo Cartridge Society. Remember, if you're not in the Discord, you should be. Email us. I'll send you an invitation. Anthony DeLuca made our logo. Our theme music is provided by 8-Bit Betty. You can get more of his music by going to 8bitbetty.com or by listening right now. For my co-host, Mark Mitchell, this is Patrick Eller saying thank you for listening. Now, Mark, last week I did send you a text and ask if you had any thoughts about the new Mario movie cast. And I revealed during this section of the previous episode if you had any that you had not responded to my text.
Oh yeah, sorry. I've the thing is, I don't really have any hot takes on
it's
the
tough.
cast. It just all feel. Part of it is I don't care, and the second part is that like, I was all in on Pete Davidson as Yoshi,
Right.
and then I was like, oh, maybe Yoshi won't talk, and so he has no voice actor.
Right. And now we're like, no. He does, and it's Donald Glover.
Which I feel like
I like Donald Glover.
I think makes more sense than Pete Davidson.
Mm-hmm.
So sure. I mean, I don't know. My expectations are so low for this movie.
Yes, mine as well. I do think it is interesting that it's just going to be like a Cranky Kong sized part, but that Luis Guzman is
Wart.
Yeah. And that the Honey Queen is being played by Issa Rae. That the Honey Queen is a character with spoken lines. It's a bee that Mario crawls around in the bee costume.
Oh, okay.
In Mario Galaxy.
Yeah, that makes sense. I do like the Wart is in this. That warms my heart.
Yes, that he is in this and is like voice acted by a celebrity.
Yeah, so it will at
he's
least
of some
speak.
import.
Wart will at least speak.
Yes.
Yeah. I do like that.
Do you think this foretells the the return of Wart to Nintendo culturally?
That would be hilarious. And if that's what the Mario movies wrought,
yes,
then that would be
if that's what it takes.